Let's bring in Richard Goldberg. He's a former National Security Council official under former President Trump and the coordinator of the maximum pressure campaign against Iran. Richard, good morning to you. This is the fourth and final day of the temporary ceasefire. What are your thoughts on extending it? Do you think that that's the right thing to do?
Well, at this point, tactically, obviously, Hamas is gaining advantages. Every day there is a ceasefire. They're able to move around. They're getting massive resupplies coming in through the borders of Gaza. We've seen the trucks going in. That's obviously resupplying not just the people of Gaza, but Hamas. And so if Israel is going to get more hostages, more women and children, other hostages out for a day or two more, there is still a strategic advantage in that for Israel. However, at some point, we are going to have to go back to military operations to achieve the military objectives. That ultimately is the destruction of Hamas, making sure that they can never achieve another October 7th in the future.
Richard, speaking yesterday to Peter Lerner, I didn't get a straight answer on this, partially because he's IDF, not necessarily a part of a diplomacy. But there's something that struck me is that these Thai hostages were negotiated for by Iran. And then Russia comes in and they negotiate for a single hostage in this last release of their own. Do these outside the quadrilateral or five-party negotiations, these other negotiations directly with Hamas, do they do anything to undermine Israel's strategic plan or advantage, not just in diplomacy, but on the battlefield?
Well, what I think they do is they expose who's really behind all of this, and that's, of course, the Iranians. The Qataris play a major part in this, obviously, as a Hamas sponsor and acting as the mediator here, sort of the arsonist playing firefighter. But behind the scenes, really pulling all the strings is the Iranians. The Russians are going to Iran. The Thais have gone to Iran, and Iran is telling Hamas, release these citizens. And so very important for us to get our Iran policy right. Instead of relieving sanctions, we should be putting maximum pressure on that regime today. We're not doing that. And it's one of the reasons we've had October 7th and so much terrorism going on throughout the region.
President Biden made a speech yesterday following the release of the first American hostage. And there was an interesting moment where he talked about the future of Hamas. And he said that the goal should be for Hamas to no longer control the Gaza Strip, as opposed to the goal being for Hamas to be eradicated. And in that moment, he appeared to choose his words very carefully. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously right now we've heard the Prime Minister of Israel repeatedly. This is a shared view across the Israeli political spectrum. You know, over the last months, we obviously saw a pretty raucous political debate inside Israel. There's no division on this left to right in Israel. They're going to restart military operations soon. They have a military objective, not just of Hamas losing control of Gaza, but having no ability in the future to launch terrorist attacks from Gaza. And so that's going to be a multi-week, perhaps multi-month campaign ahead to root out all that terror infrastructure and hunt down Hamas leaders throughout Gaza. But remember, Gaza is just one piece here. There's a massive Iranian infrastructure in Hezbollah in Lebanon. There's Iranian cells throughout the West Bank. We've seen what the Houthis are doing out of Yemen. And of course, ultimately, Iran with its nuclear program still ahead.
You know, we've learned in like the last day that American dollars are probably going to Hamas through the aid packages that go into to Palestinians. Not even that, just that they're going to these prisoners that were released. The Hamas essentially does a pension for those that go to prison for creating jihad. And so that's a problem for the U.S. But if we go even back further than that, there's an Obama-era deal that allows Hamas to have an office in Qatar. A lot of Americans sit here and they go, why are these Hamas leaders in Qatar? We're learning that might actually be a request or even a priority from the U.S. government from years gone by. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, the Qataris have been long allies and sponsors of Hamas. They're part of the Muslim Brotherhood network. They've been providing money and resources to Hamas long before they were stationed in Qatar back in 2012. During the Obama administration. At some point, they were originally, these foreign-based Hamas leaders that you see were originally based in Damascus, Syria. And during the Syrian civil war, they needed to get out of Syria. And so Qatar opened its doors. And the Obama administration said, okay, we'll let you host Qatar, because they were believing in this idea that if the Qataris hosted Hamas, they would somehow divide Hamas from the Iranian sponsors and moderate Hamas through Qatari sponsorship. That hasn't happened, obviously. All that happened was that Qatar put hundreds of millions of dollars into the terror infrastructure in addition to Hamas. And so I think after October 7th, we really have to ask ourselves, why are the Qataris still allowed to host all these Hamas leaders? Why are they still sponsoring Hamas? The fact that they're the ones brokering this deal, brokering these hostage negotiations, is completely absurd. They're an ally and sponsor of Hamas, providing safe harbor to Hamas. Either they're a terror organization or they're not. Either Qatar's with us or they're with Hamas.
Yeah, well, it is clear that the Middle East will not be the same after this war, and it is anybody's guess as to what it will look like in the future. Richard, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.